Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. Everybody's working for the weekend. Taking care of business every day. Now it's wow, welcome to the working week.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Minimum wage.
Okay, and welcome to another edition of The Working Lunch here on WCUW 91.3 FM and simulcast or rebroadcast, I should say,
Channel
on
12.
Channel 12 Worcester Government Channel.
A very special episode today.
And special
a
for
holiday.
a holiday, a very special holiday edition, a Thanksgiving edition of the show. I'm your host, Jeff Turgeon. A lot of people might not recognize me. I have
A new look.
A new look. This is for November.
You got your hair cut? You got your hair cut? Or?
No, it's the November mustache. So it's for Men's Health. It's called Movember, Movember. So Movember, my Movember look. I've been getting, as you know, a lot of
Tons of comments.
A lot of comments about the new
Compliments.
Some compliments.
It's
a
an
lot of
edgier
comments.
look.
It's an edgier. Yeah, a lot of people think, who is this guy?
Who's this mean man?
Who's this guy with the mustache? Like a Charles Bronson-esque.
Actually, what's your favorite or the funniest comment that you've had that's on air appropriate?
Yeah, well, I do get a lot of, hey, are you in the adult movie industry? So the other thing is Ron Burgundy. I get
that's a good one.
You got the Ron Burgundy look going. That's
good. That's good.
from the movie, of course,
Anchorman,
and Anchorman 2 coming out soon, I think, right?
So a quick plug for Men's Health, and
That's-
is specifically prostate?
It's for prostate cancer and other men's health related issues. So certainly going for a good cause.
Absolutely.
And they do a great job. It's sponsored by a number of different sponsors, including the American Cancer Society. They do a great job with setting up a website and things. Social media. Interactive social media platform to help fundraise for it and help post pictures of how
Your progress.
how the stash is growing in, and they have grooming tips and things like that.
And did you say you were going to donate it to Locks of Love after?
It's called Stash of Love.
Stash of Love.
I'm actually starting it. It's called Jeff Turgeon's Stash of Love. I'm gonna
Good.
collect the shavings and send them off to whomever might want them. Stash of Love.
Good.
Good.
I should copyright that.
You should.
Definitely.
Definitely. Bob, you
Definitely.
could join. You've got the mustache too. You could join
Yeah.
if you want to shave it off ever.
Never.
It's never going.
I don't know what
It's
what we're actually
35.
going to do with the stash after we shave. Like, what do you do with the shavings? Bob, turn around to the camera. Let's get a nice close-up of the stash of love.
Oh, the poor people. And I have the controls, remember. I can keep you guys on the controls.
That's right.
It'll put us on mute.
So this is, but it is a very special Thanksgiving edition of the show.
It is, yep.
We're taping this Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so everyone's preparing for the holiday, and some people traveling on this day. We wish them safe travels, of course. The weather's
Especially
out
with
there.
the weather, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to. Right now it's just rainy. Hopefully that continues.
Not snow
to-
right now, which is good.
That's right. And but another thing with this time of year, volunteering, of course, becomes a big.
Oh,
lot
absolutely.
more
yeah.
prevalent. A lot of people volunteering. I know we had even tried to arrange something with our family to help out as well. It's just it's important to give back, right? That part of the
Yeah.
Thanksgiving theme.
Definitely. We have to thank all the people that have made that extra effort to stream in on WCUW.org. So looking here, we have listeners.
That's great.
Wow.
We do
Throughout the
welcome.
United-
That's right.
Throughout the
You sound
United
surprised, Sean.
throughout the United States and the world.
Well, that's the
Sean's
beauty.
mom and dad down in Douglas.
Yeah, the whole family's
The
listening.
I
whole
want to say we've
families.
gotten some email too from overseas. Like, hey, I think we are the highest rated workforce related,
We're up
workforce themed
Gotta be
lunchtime
top 10.
show.
On the last Wednesday of each month.
That's true. Yes. Well, with some caveats, right? So, but one of the things, volunteering has been something that over at the Career Center they've been helping to push as a way for job seekers, especially those job seekers that have been out of the job market, out of the workplace for a long time, to get back into the flow of work.
Sharpen your skills.
Sharpen your skills and learn some new skills. Sharpen your existing skills.
Address your gap in employment history. You could be volunteering.
And when you're networking, you're
you
making
can meet new people,
connections.
too.
So there's a lot of great reasons to volunteer as a job seeker. And one of the things that they've created is a program called the Volunteer Connections Program.
Yep.
And as part of that, they do something called Volunteer Exchange.
And that's a big event.
That is a big event. They bring in a number of different area nonprofit groups to Worcester, to the Career Center over there. It's actually, we're hosting it at the Central Mass Workforce Investment Board over on Front Street, and that's going to be happening the afternoon of December 12th. I think they do those on a quarterly basis.
Yep.
And so it's happening the afternoon of December 12th from 2 to 4 p.m. You do need to register beforehand, so folks can contact
staff at Workforce Central.
Staff at Workforce Central, that's right. And so I'm sure there's information about it online as well. So that's the Volunteer Exchange Program. Great way for people looking to get a volunteership to connect with nonprofits directly and talk about their needs and whether there's a good fit or not.
So that's a face-to-face event. The job seekers can go there and literally meet managers from local nonprofits and talk about their skills, or the managers can talk about what jobs or what volunteer opportunities they have.
Exactly. So it's a great event. Speaking of great events.
Good.
Love the
You're
segue,
getting
right?
Good those are smooth. You don't even notice them.
Wouldn't it be, unless we'd stop to talk about the fact that we just did that. But speaking of great events, there is another neat event coming up that same week, as a matter of fact. It's going to be the evening of December 11th. And so want to bring in a guest right now. We have a guest in studio, Miss Pat Yancey. She's the president of the Worcester NAACP. Welcome to the Working Lunch.
Thank you. And first of all, I must say I do like the mustache.
You like?
It's great. Fan. Yes, another fan. It's great to look fabulous while you're supporting a worthy cause.
There
so I
you go.
applaud you.
Well, 1 out of 2 might not be bad, but let's talk before we talk about the specific event happening, the screening happening on the 11th. Let's talk a little bit about the NAACP and your work. I know you're fairly new.
Yes. I've been the president since January of 2013, and we've been doing a lot of things. The most important work we do has been registering new voters. So we've been doing that at community events, and we've been sponsoring our own voter registration events.
And now here in Massachusetts, it hasn't gotten necessarily a whole lot of, I don't want to say controversy, a whole lot of there hasn't been necessarily a whole lot in the news about voter registration here in Massachusetts, but elsewhere around the country, there's been a push around voter registration laws and voter ID laws and things like that,
absolutely.
Right?
And the NAACP is in the forefront in making sure that municipalities and states and cities don't pass laws that restrict our voting rights. So since they gutted the Voting Rights Act, the Section 4, that has been going on across the country, but the NAACP has been in the forefront in the Supreme Courts and in the local courts fighting those fights.
Great. Well, along with voter registration, what's some other issues or other activities that locally here in Worcester the NAACP is looking at? Or
well, one of the fun things that we've been doing, we've been participating in local parades. We marched in the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the Gay Rights Parade, and we also brought Senator Cohen in before he left office, and he addressed the students at the Chandler Magnet School and talked about public engagement in the democratic process. So it was a great event. The students got a chance to ask questions. He was really open and it was fun. And
so you're doing a lot. It seems like around education and engagement with the public. And with that, you have an event coming up on the evening of Wednesday, December 11th.
Yes, we are screening Robert Reich, the former Labor Secretary's documentary, Inequality for All. We're doing this with the League of Women Voters, and you were going to be on the panel.
I don't, apparently some people couldn't make it, and so they...
No. Don't say that.
They reached, it sounds like a wonderful... I've been a huge fan of Secretary Reich for a number of years. I do read some of his some of his work, and I've seen some of lately he's taken to producing some videos, so I'm sure that's going to be part of the screening is them. I've seen some snippets, I should say, I guess, online of different things I think will be in the movie. He's done a lot around inequality.
Yes. And it's important for the community to come out and see this because he takes these complex issues and these policies that have been happening over the last 30 years, and he breaks them down so we can all understand them and can, feel more empowered to do something, to speak out, to, what to say and what exactly these issues are.
And I think, too, inequality, sometimes you hear inequality, and, I am who I am. I'm kind of middle class white guy that grew up, in Worcester and everything. And, you hear stuff like that, and you almost, at times it might resonate like, almost like, oh, inequality, it's about, like socialist agenda or something like, sometimes it kind of has like that almost perception, right? But when you think about inequality and how it affects everyone's lives and everyone's quality of life, no matter where you are in society, you're part of a network.
Right.
And, at some point, I think if inequality becomes so great, it really affects everyone's quality of life.
It affects our democratic process.
Exactly.
It affects our democracy.
Exactly.
It really does. This eroding of the middle class does, because that is what our economy is based on, is the spending power of the middle class.
Yeah, the way you put that with the eroding of the middle class, I've seen some different studies and some different reports out there, and that's a bit scary. There's, I know that there's some reports that come out. Judy Warren from Government Channel just showed me a stat about jobless numbers have come out, and they're slowly improving. Same with when you hear data about the number of jobs reported. Like last year, I think it was in October, it was reported over 200,000 new jobs reported in the U.S. for that month. And, it sounds like a decent bit of growth, but then when you look into it, a lot of the new jobs that are being hired for are unfortunately part-time work. They're temporary jobs. They're jobs that don't have what we would kind of traditionally call a living wage or, with benefits and with kind of a family-sustaining wage. And how do you have a vibrant democracy with a vibrant middle class if there's no work available that pays that kind of wage?
Absolutely. And there are ways, this one of the things I'm looking forward in this documentary is to help people understand there are ways that we can support ways to address these issues right here locally, like supporting a higher minimum wage and supporting the voices of workers, something that I'll be excited to hear more from you. And that's why you're going to be an important panelist, because you have resources, you have some answers to this, a piece to this puzzle.
There's a piece, small piece to it, little piece there in
it's
the puzzle.
All of us together, though.
It does take everyone kind of, and just the fact that you're putting the spotlight on this issue and allowing for public screening and a public discussion of the issue, I think speaks well to the work that you're doing. And it is such a important issue for our economy and for our society. So
and also for the League of Women Voters. We're glad to be working with them and all of the partners in the community. We've had a good response from our local legislators and community leaders and clergy. So we'll be doing a lot of work because people are excited.
So let's just make sure we get all the details here. It is Wednesday, December 11th at 6 p.m. at the Sachs Room over at Worcester Public Library.
Yes.
And so how can also, we're speaking with Pat Yancey, president of the NAACP here in Worcester. How can folks get in touch with you or find out more about your organization?
Okay, so our phone number is 774-314-7515. Our email address is naacpworcester2058@gmail.com. And we do have a website, but I'm working on another one in the background, so it's a little stagnant right now. But come to the meetings. Our next meeting is December 9th.
Now, as is our custom here,
yes,
Miss Yancey, you're not familiar with this, I don't think.
No.
As a guest, we have a little game that we play with guests for a fabulous prize. I believe it's a coffee mug.
Okay, I'm excited.
Maybe filled with gold doubloons. Is it, Sean? No, it may not be. We don't know.
That's all right.
You never
Okay.
know. But at least a coffee mug. Sean, I think you're going to need to borrow a microphone. Sure. So why don't you borrow this one and.
All right, Pat. So the game is guess the real job of the famous actor. So this week we have Jon Stewart from The Daily Show.
Former job, like a first job.
Right, their first job.
Okay.
So was Jon Stewart, was his first job to clean up the hair at a barber shop? Was he a woodworker, or was he a puppeteer?
Oh my goodness.
And you can think it over.
Okay. I'm gonna guess a puppeteer.
You are correct. You are correct. Yeah. According to the New York Times, after graduating from College of William and Mary in 1984 with a degree in psychology, he returned to New Jersey, where he worked for the state performing puppet shows designed to sensitize school children to the disabled.
Sounds right, yeah.
Excellent job. Look at that. Excellent job.
So that
Wow.
was it. I get the coffee mug now?
Well, you don't get now. It does come at a later date. We surprise you with it.
Okay. All right.
They have to
But
go
we
out and
do-
buy it.
Oh, I have to go out and buy it. Okay.
So again, your website for folks that want to find it?
It is NAACP Worcester 2058 @gmail.com.
That's your email. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they can Google or whatever to
Yes,
find your website.
absolutely.
And,
Yes.
well, thank you again for
Thank you.
coming on. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck, and I will be seeing you and folks that attend on December 11th for that discussion.
Yes.
Date and place.
It is, so it's December 11th over at the Worcester Public Library at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Great. Well,
Very
thanks
good.
again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to segue right now over to an interview that Sean had done with Sean. You had traveled. We again getting back to volunteerism during the season, and we talked about the Volunteer Connections program over at Workforce Central.
Right.
You'd also had a chance to talk to the great folks up at
Friendly House.
At Friendly House. A lot of volunteer work being done there.
So with the holiday season, a lot of people like to do volunteering for the day on Thanksgiving. They
And
like
that was
to
with Miss Josephina. Do you have her?
I'll say at the beginning of the interview here.
Hi, I'm Sean from the Working Lunch. I'm here with Josefina Velez of Friendly House, one of the multi-service agencies here in the city with, if not the best, one of the best names in the city, probably. So how you doing today?
I'm doing good, very busy.
Very busy. As we can see, we just passed through. There was over 25 volunteers volunteering in the food pantry, going through different foods, and that's what brought us here today, because I know that during the holidays, a lot of people like to volunteer, and that's one of the things that we push all year round for our job seekers. So what kind of volunteer opportunities are available right now in the holiday season?
Okay, like I mentioned, we have the Thanksgiving basket that we're going to give away. We're expecting close to 1,800 families next week, the 25th, 26th, and 27th. And we're always looking for volunteers to help us to pass this food to needy people here in the building. And then we have toys. Christmas party for the children in the city, which that's going to be December 15th. It's a Sunday, and we're looking for volunteers from 11 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, helping us on doing distribution of the toys, helping us to do the party together, putting all the stuff that we need in terms of be able to have this party for the children.
And so people can volunteer on their own, or I noticed like the group in there is actually a business or an organization that has volunteered for the day as a team.
And that's true. People could volunteer by themselves, or people could make a group. And it's a different way that people could do volunteer. If you want to kind of like go and do a collection of food, let's say